In this video, I'm going to explain why translation doesn't work when you're learning a new language and what I did to start thinking in English and stop translating in my head. My name is Rodica, my native language is Romanian, and as someone who learned English as a second language and is now teaching it, I can tell you this. Almost everybody relies on translation at the beginning, and that's okay. We all need to start somewhere. But as we progress, we can start using better tools and translation should become a thing of the past. Because here's the problem. When it comes to actually producing the language, which is speaking and writing, translation is actually holding us back. Number one, it slows you down. Number two, it's not always accurate. Number three, it blocks fluency. Number four, it stops you from thinking in English. Number five, it can cause more confusion and you end up making more mistakes. If you're constantly translating directly from your native language, a lot of the times you're going to speak in a different style, in a different tone, which may get you perceived a little bit strange or sometimes misunderstood. When you start thinking in English instead of translating all the time, things get easier, even though you might think they don't. You end up speaking faster, you understand quicker, and you don't end up stuck looking for the exact perfect words that you need from your native language. It also makes your English sound more natural because you're using real expressions instead of word-for-word translation. So here are three of the most important things that I did that helped me stop translating from my native language and start thinking directly in English. Number one, having a native English-speaking teacher. I was lucky to have one in school, but she would only speak English to us. She was from the United States, so we had no choice but to respond in English. And yes, my English was very poor, very broken, but I had to do my best to explain myself in English because if I spoke Romanian, she would simply not understand me. Spending time with her also gave me the chance to observe how a native speaker talks. Her sentence structure, her intonation, her tone, her style, her reactions. And then I noticed that she would use the same expressions, but in different situations, and they would fit perfectly every time. Expressions like, oh, that's nice, that's good, no way, are you kidding me, I don't really care, how's it going, I'm not too sure, I haven't decided yet, I had a good time, who knows, thank God, who told you that, talk to you later. Once I understood what these phrases meant and how to use them, I started saying them out loud until they came naturally. I would repeat them at home in my head or out loud, and I would go around and say, I don't really care, how's it going, I haven't decided yet, until I liked how they sounded. And by the time I needed them in a conversation, I didn't have to think, I didn't have to translate, I just had them ready to go. And the more I did this, the more words and phrases I would pick up. And slowly, I had to let go from this translation habit because I realized that what I wanted to say in Romanian did not match the expression in English. So basically, conversing and interacting and communicating with a native speaker made my brain imitate what they do. And if you're thinking, okay, that's amazing for you, but where can I find a native speaking teacher? Well, I think this is the perfect time to shout out the sponsor of this video, the online language learning platform italki, where you can find a native speaking teacher to have one-on-one lessons with. I can't even imagine having this opportunity when I was young and learning English, opening up a website and having access to over 30,000 teachers and choose from over 150 languages to learn. That would have been incredible. So on italki, you can get personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers.
Great, let's start. So, what are you doing this weekend?
I need to comprar ropa.
You could say, I need to buy some clothes.
And the coolest thing about it is that you can watch a presentation video from those teachers even before paying for a lesson, so you can get a feel of their vibe, their communication style, and their accent. And even if you're a beginner, you can find a teacher who also speaks your native language, so it's easier to start learning that way. Let's say, for example, you're looking to improve your American or British accent. All you need to do is search for a teacher from the US or from the UK And here you go, you're ready to start your lessons with a native speaker. You can practice and ask them questions related to culture, small talk, and receive immediate guidance from them. You can select the price range, your availability, and the lesson type. And because it's a pay-per-lesson format, you only pay for the lessons that you are actually able to attend, so it completely fits your budget and schedule. They also just launched an AI tool within the platform called italki Plus that you can try for free for 1 month. So you get the best of both worlds. You have your human professional teachers and your AI tools that make learning more engaging and more fun. You also get instant lesson notes and flashcards, so your main key points and vocabulary are saved automatically so you can review them after super quickly. And the coolest thing is that they also include progress tracking, so you can see how much you're improving with every lesson, which is super motivating in my opinion. And for my audience, italki has a special promo. All you gotta do is click the link in my description, use the code Rodica, buy $10 and you get $5 for free for your first lesson. But this is only for the first 50 users, so make sure you hurry up. Thank you italki for sponsoring this video. So now let's get back into the other 2 things I did to stop translating in my head and start thinking in English. So the second thing I did was to become my own live commentator, my own live English commentator. I made this mindset shift. I was pretending I was a native English speaker in my everyday life outside school. If I was doing something around the house, a chore, an activity, I would just talk about it in English. Sometimes in front of a mirror, sometimes in my mind, sometimes just whispering, depending on the mood and the situation. So the key was starting to narrate my life as if I was on some sort of TV show or I was recording my life as a vlogger. For example, my parents would ask me to water the garden. And I didn't really like that because our garden was pretty big. But I was thinking, let me make that into my performance. I would comment on every single little thing. Okay, first step, I am grabbing the watering can. The watering can is heavy. Did I put too much water in it? Will I do the same next time? What do I need to do so the water can is lighter? Okay, then now I am watering the roses. The tulips have enough water. I need to get more water for the veggies. Sometimes it wasn't chores. I would just be sitting in my room, bored, and I would just convert my thoughts into English thoughts. So, I really want some chocolate right now. Should I eat some chocolate? No, because it's too sweet and I had chocolate in the morning. Maybe it's better to have a fruit, things like that. Doing this constantly and consistently created this habit, and whenever I wanted to think about something, I would automatically think about it in English. It's all about building this habit of thinking directly into English, thinking fast, coming up with the words immediately, and not having to stop and think for too long about a word that you need in your native language. And yes, my English wasn't perfect. I was making a lot of mistakes when I was narrating and describing all these things, but that's not the point. The point is to build a habit of thinking in English and not to be perfect right away. Because every time you say a word, you remember that word and it comes faster with every time you need it. Same thing with expressions or idioms or anything really. Little by little, you stop needing to translate and you immediately have something to say in English. And yes, there is a long adjustment period, right? Because at first your English is going to sound very basic, very simplistic. You're not going to like the way your thoughts sound in English. You're going to think they're childish, they're kind of silly. And yes, you would sound so much smarter and more sophisticated and funnier in your native language, but that is a sacrifice you have to make. At the beginning, you have to let the frustration go. You have to stop comparing the two because one is your native language, one is a foreign language, and you have to keep doing it anyway because in time you will get better. Okay, and the third thing I did is what I like to call the anti-freeze method. And this is another trick that I observed from native English speakers. Sometimes they would struggle with vocabulary. Yes, they would forget a word that they needed, and what they do is they don't stop and think and just interrupt the sentence or the conversation. They just continued describing that word in simpler words. If they forgot the word improve, they would say to make better. If they forgot the word spatula, they would say something to flip the pancakes with. So let's say you forgot the word challenge and you want to say something like, it was a challenge for me. And instead of stopping and thinking and trying to remember what is that word in English, you can say, it was difficult for me. That was really hard. It wasn't easy. These little adjustments will keep your conversation going and will prevent you from freezing in the moment. And trust me, nobody is thinking, they should have used the word challenge instead. People just want to communicate. So thinking directly in English means rephrasing your sentences with the words you know. If in your native language you would have said, it was a challenge, in English you will say, it was difficult. If in your native language you would say, I'm exhausted, in English, you might say, I'm really tired. The sentence itself or the word itself might be considered simpler, but your idea is clear, and the listener does not care about your perfect vocabulary. They're just enjoying the conversation. They're just enjoying communicating with you. You're the one overthinking, not them. So the key takeaways for this video are, number one, focus on communicating your ideas and not translating perfectly. Number two, accept that your English will be simpler and more basic at first. Number three, embrace your mistakes and keep talking. And number four, convert your thoughts into English. Describe what you see, narrate what you're doing, talk about how you feel, everything in English. And that's how fluency develops. Sentence by sentence, thought by thought, habit by habit. And the more you do it, the more natural it feels, and the more fun you start having. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions for me, please drop them in the comments down below. Okay, bye!